Tell Me a Story, brought to you by COVID Recovery Iowa. Calib and Quaran-Teen, written by Notori Blue, illustrated by Victor Tavares. Life's been pretty good, as far as I can tell. Some bumps, some changes here and there, but I have managed well. My family, my school, my friendships all intact. We had a way of doing things. We had it all down packed. Before this guy named Quaran-Teen, I lived quite normally. Then he snatched normal from my hands. Just listen. You will see. He sent toilet paper pirates into every grocery store, and the plundering continued until there was no more. So when at home and suddenly I felt the urge to go, I have to close my eyes and pray there's some left on the roll. When quarantine arrived, he sent all the barbers home, and we were forced to manage growing crowns all on our own. I used to get my hair cut low with fancy art designs, but now it's hard to tell my sister Kaya's hair from mine. Quarantine did not stop there, for he was on a roll, dishing out the birthday blues to victims young and old. What used to be a lively bash with games and finger foods became a slew of weird phone calls, Aunt Cat, Pop, Sam, and Jude. He then convinced the teachers, work from your cozy homes, but classwork seems much harder when you're going it alone. The letters get all jumbly, the numbers run amok, instructions are so confusing that I want to pass the buck. And what Teen did to fashion, well, he should be ashamed. He hid all the presentables the people had obtained. Mismatches in the morning, old t-shirts noon and night, to top it off, a plain white mask to seal our stylish plight. And as if quarantine had not been cruel enough, when Grandpa Mike got sick, he made our visit really rough. Changed hospital policy from 2 guests per room to none to see Gramps helpless on that screen just tortured this grandson. And when completely certain that I'd surely lost my wits, I felt a gentle nudge and heard, "Son, I will handle this." Little did I know, or to what extent, Quarantine had met his match, and she would not relent. Early in the morning, before we could see light, the operation, it commenced. Supermom took flight. She did a little shopping, with the pirates still asleep, a tissue tower, just enough to get us through the week. Supermom agreed with me, could stand my mane no more. She draped her cape around me as I crisscrossed on the floor. The clippers started buzzing when it all came to an end. There was no fancy art, but neither was I Kaya's twin. Determined more than ever to make the best of things. New party plans to make, Mom said. Take this, Quaran-Teen. Covering my front yard porch, there were gifts galore and a party caravan. I couldn't have asked for more. Supermom was in her zone, her chair pulled next to mine, pursued the task with one inhale, told me we would be fine. We rolled our eyes, we kicked and cried, everything it took, and when at last we hit submit, we sighed and turned and shook. On to the pressing issue of everyday attire. The mirror could not even offer one piece to admire. But Supermom was on the case, paired with the internet. Homemade masks and brand new PJs formed the perfect sets. Just one last task remaining to offset quarantine. And yup, you guessed it, she was there, already on the scene. But not for the reason that I thought she was. She pulled me to a bench nearby. She pursed her lips and shrugged. Mom asked if I remembered how we would gather round while Grandpa Mike would tell us war stories, loud and proud. I nodded to confirm as she explained to me this was likely the last battle Grandpa Mike would see. The family grew around us, the closest we could get. We watched our worst nightmare unfold, a heart-wrenching event. Now, I was crazy furious. Man, let this be a dream. Still turning my life upside down is that kid Quaran-Teen. Calm down now, my uncle said. Things are as they should be. Placing blame won't stop the pain. Your heart needs this journey. Now Quaran-Teen is challenging, but he is no bad guy. He may have rubbed us the wrong way, but hear the reason why. A little foe we could not see became a mighty threat as Quaran-Teen chose to respond. Quite brave, I must admit. You see, he means to do no harm. His intentions are good. His unique style, intrusive ways are just misunderstood. I paused a while to take this in. Discovered I agreed. A new perspective I had found. I'd misjudged Quaran-Teen. He did steal ordinary, but I was unaware that emptying the barber shops was bigger than my hair. So I'll give him a break. Besides, he won't be here forever. During his stay, I'll try my best to support his endeavors. Still can't quite wrap my head around the changes that I see, but I'll keep cleverly adapting, finding normal by degrees. This book is dedicated to the fearless medical professionals, first responders, and all essential employees, the true superheroes. The end.